As far back as I can remember, I tried my hardest not to just see a photograph as a photograph. You see, photography is like magic. It's a mysterious force that can conjure up images of the past and present with a flick of a wrist. Just like a magician can pull a rabbit out of a hat, a photographer can pull a moment out of thin air and freeze it in time forever. With just the click of a shutter, a photograph captures a slice of reality that might have otherwise gone unnoticed, preserving it like a spell cast by a sorcerer. Also, like a magician, a photographer must have a keen eye and a steady hand to capture the perfect image. They must be able to see beyond the surface of things, to discern the hidden beauty beyond the otherwise mundane. And also, like a magician, a photographer can use their craft to manipulate reality, to create illusions that can deceive or delight the senses. But while a magician's tricks are fleeting, disappearing as soon as the show is over, a photograph has the power to endure for centuries. It's a talisman that can transport us back in time, evoking memories and emotions long forgotten. And it's a mirror that reflects our own world back to us, capturing both the light and the shadows. So yeah, like the title of this video says, photography is magic. It's a form of alchemy that can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. And it's also a potent reminder of the power of the human imagination, and a testament to our desire to capture the world around us and to make it our own. And yeah, it can feel a little strange getting romantic about photography since it's become such a ubiquitous part of 21st century life. But here I am, doing it anyway. And like I said, I try not to see a photograph as just a photograph. I try not to see it as some inanimate object with an image pasted onto it. I try to feel like I'm looking at the real thing, something magical. I don't know, it's more than a collection of halide crystals of silver suspended in gelatin made from the cheeks and ears of Argentine cattle. It's so much more than certain salts of iron, or chromium and platinum metals, polymer plastics, tars, gums, zinc oxide in one crystalline state that happens to be sensitive to light. All of that on its own is pure magic, but I try to treat a picture of Elvis like I'm looking at the real thing. You know, like I look at his mouth and I think, wow, that's the mouth that sang Hound Dog. And when I look at a photo of my father and I see his shadow cast on the ground, I try to get just as excited that his shadow is fixed forever in this image, the same way that his frame is. Because I don't know, imagine being a shadow and being important enough to be photographed. This romanticism that I'm talking about, like most romanticisms out there, begs to be dispelled. Its goal is typically desensitization. And the reason that people get less romantic over time is A, exposure, and B, understanding. When you understand how these things work, it can feel less like magic and more like the intermingling of various tangible forces or elements. I'm currently 26 years old, or as I like to put it, in my late 20s, and it can be difficult hanging on to that fleeting childlike wonder about anything, really. I'm talking about that sense of awe and magic that we feel as children when the world is full of mystery and possibility. It's the moment that we catch a glimpse of something rare and beautiful, something that makes our heart skip a beat and fills us with a sense of longing and enchantment. It might be the way the sunlight filters through the leaves of a tree, or the sound of a distant train whistle, or the sight of a shooting star streaking across the night sky. Whatever it is, it touches us in a way that's both fleeting and profound, and it's a reminder of the innocence and wonder of childhood. Fleeting childlike wonder is something that we carry with us always, like a cherished memory or a secret treasure. It's that spark of magic that keeps us young at heart, even as we grow older and wiser. It's a reminder that no matter how jaded or cynical we may become, there's still a world of wonder and enchantment out there waiting for us if we're just willing to open our eyes and see it. Now, I'd hate to go on making this channel without spelling these things out for both myself and for all of you out there watching this, because I feel like it's important. I think it's a lesson that I needed to remind myself of. In full transparency, I've been frustrated with my photography lately. I've been getting my scans back from the lab and just shaking my head at the uninspired work, the lazy compositions, and the boring subject matter. Now, I haven't nearly gotten to the point where I'm preparing to throw in the towel or anything, but I did need to take a step back and sort of open my eyes again, to remind myself to seek out that magic. I've also been shooting a lot of videos about other photographers, and their stories have kind of been inspiring me to shoot more and think less, which is totally the opposite of how I've done things in the past. It's just tricky when that sort of mentality is leading me to be less happy with the results, but I'm working on it. And you'll have to excuse the tired cliche, but reigniting a passion for photography is like rekindling an old flame. It's that sense of rediscovery, of falling in love again with something that once brought us joy and fulfillment. It's the moment when we remember why we first picked up a camera and why we're drawn to the magic of capturing images, whether it be on film or digital, doesn't matter. Perhaps this rediscovery starts with a walk in the woods or a trip to a new city. The world around us suddenly becomes alive with color and texture, and we feel that familiar tug in our hearts, that longing to capture the beauty that surrounds us. So we dust off that old camera and we load up a roll of film and we head out into the world like a sailor setting out to sea. And as you take the first couple photos on the roll and you sense that anticipation, the thrill of excitement at the possibility of capturing something extraordinary, and then the film develops, or you see your scans for the first time and you see the results of your efforts. You see the play of light and shadow, the subtle hues and tones, and the way that the world is transformed through the lens of your camera. Reigniting a passion for photography is a journey of discovery and of self-expression. It's a chance to explore the world around us and capture something of its essence. It's a reminder that no matter how busy or distracted we may become with modern day life, there's always beauty and wonder awaiting us if we're just willing to seek it out. And real quick, I want to circle back to something that I said earlier. And the reason that people get less romantic over time is A, exposure, and B, understanding. I want to challenge that in my next series of videos that I'm calling Back to Basics. I picked up a book at a thrift store called The Camera, and it basically breaks down the fundamental elements of the camera and of making photos. And it got me thinking that it'd be interesting to explore these things and challenge the notion that the more we understand the granular components of photo making, the less we recognize the beauty in it. You see, by demystifying the tangible elements, I'm trying to remystify the action and the art, if that makes sense. I'm releasing this video in tandem with the very first Back to Basics episode that is going to break down the camera body. You can find that video right here. I hope you all don't mind the break in format. It's just something that I felt the need to sort of get off my chest. So please go check out that very first Back to Basics episode, and if you're so inclined, let me know what else I should cover on this channel. And let me know if you've ever struggled with rekindling your passion for photography and the steps that you needed to take in order to actually do it, if you actually did do it. And if you're starting that journey now, let's talk about it. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for updates whenever a new video is uploaded. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.